Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here to do the reading for the lovely sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, just a quick chat about your natal chart. So if you identify as a Scorpio, that means when people say to you, what sign are you? You say I'm a Scorpio, then you're more than likely a Scorpio sun. Now, understanding that you have many planets in your energies when you're born, and you may have Scorpio in other aspects. Mine's in my rising or ascendant. So in terms of that, I react a certain way that's probably more like a Scorpio than it would be my sun sign Capricorn or my Libra sign moon sign. So if you want to find out where those placements are, you can go and Google a natal chart or a birth chart, put in the details of your birth, and you'll be able to get, most places will give you a free report which explains what that means to you. So, if your sun is in Capricorn, there are certain attributes that you would find in the Capricorn sun that would be there to describe you, keeping in mind that sometimes we can watch a video and it doesn't resonate, but one of those other planets may. So if you want to sort of find out more about that, Google natal chart or birth chart, put in the details of your birth. If you don't have the time of your birth, it's not essential to get in a reading. It certainly gives you a slightly more accurate reading having it there, but in effect, you can still get a pretty good reading without it. So have a look at that. I think it's really interesting to sort of find out more about what planets were in your chart when you were born. All right, so we're going to use the Modern Witch Tarot for your reading today. And before we really get into the reading, I want to talk about memberships because I have started up a membership program. There are 3 levels of membership, so you can just sort of pretty much join me and be privy to some things. But if you take the deluxe membership, which was the idea of setting up the memberships, I am doing teachings on how to read the tarot. Now I'm doing it the same way around my classes, but I'm doing it over a longer period of time, of course, because we don't have an intensive 5 or 6 hours to go through everything. So if you are interested in doing that, you can join me. There is a cost to that. Will be different wherever you are in the world. In Australia, it's $14.99. So I've done 2 videos so far. I do have intentions of giving things away. I have intentions of doing lives and doing one-to-one or one to a few classes as well, just when things sort of start getting a little bit more intensive. At the moment, we're learning the basics of tarot, and we're learning about the cards with the Rider-Waite deck. So if you're interested in joining me, please have a look into it. If you have any questions, I'm happy for you to email me. All right, let's get into your reading, Scorpio. Oh, same card we started out on What's Cracking with. So this is happening quite a lot this week. So why does that happen? I've used a completely different deck. So when I explain to people how I read, if you're sitting in front of me, I'm reading for you. So when I'm shuffling or going through the cards or getting you to shuffle, I'm reading your energy. That's all I'm focused on. When I'm reading on YouTube, I'm focused on maybe several hundred people, maybe more than that. So the reading won't resonate with everybody, but it is the energy that the universe is pulling through from you for me to read. The 3 of Swords, when I was talking in the other deck, is represented very, very different in the Green Tarot. So it's Green Witch Tarot. But what it shows to me is that you are still in pain from something that you have previously done. Now, sometimes if the card feels like it's in reverse like that, I can feel you coming out of something. So no matter what it is, there's a feeling here that you are still carrying hurt and pain around from the past, maybe from a relationship with a Leo, Sag, Aries. There's a feeling here that you wanted a new beginning, but somehow or another with the moon there, it hasn't been shown to you. Maybe you had to walk away because somebody was treating you very badly, and even though this felt really bad to you, the victory card is here. So maybe somehow or another you were dealing with somebody who couldn't get on the same page as you, who you weren't seeing eye to eye with. Maybe you wanted a relationship and they didn't. Maybe they were in another situation and you wanted them to leave, but they couldn't. Whatever it was here, you're carrying some pain, but it feels to me like you've had to turn your back on a person. I don't think it's something you wanted to do. It's something you felt you had to do, like you had no other alternative. So, for example, if you're with someone and they're in another relationship and they're refusing to leave that relationship, maybe you have no other alternative but to walk away. All right, let's see where we're going. So Four of Wands coming through here with the Knight of Wands. You may have been dealing with what we see as a player, but I can talk about that a little further. The Hanged Man coming through and the King of Pentacles. So you wanted a commitment with this person. Absolutely here. Four of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, commitment. But I feel like here with the Hanged Man, you had to start seeing something a little differently. Now, we always talk about players here, but a player really is essentially someone that has an attachment disorder, the same as other people out there. So it's somebody who cannot commit. They cannot commit for a lot of deeper psychological reasons, but it doesn't look like that on the surface. It looks like they're just playing the field, running around, having sex with people. But the fact is they cannot connect, and they have a very cold energy where they cannot sort of get into somebody else's, or can't be intimate with somebody, which would make it really hard for a Scorpio, because you love the intimacy and the deep talks and the getting close to people. But what we've got here is somebody who's more than likely what we call a disorganized attachment. So if you want to find out a little bit more about that, the chances are pretty good that you may have an anxious attachment, because people are drawn together because of their attachment issues. What does that mean? It means that you could have had a childhood where you didn't develop a deep relationship with a parent. It could mean that you had an abusive or neglectful childhood. It could mean that you had an overbearing parent who was the complete opposite but never gave you a chance to build those relationships with people. It is a feeling of rejection. So in effect, somebody who's got an attachment disorder fears rejection. So they pull out quicker, they get going quicker than before you can tell them to go. So they don't want you to get to know them because they don't want to develop feelings for you. Very deep psychological thing, but we don't see that on the surface. We just see someone who wants to play the field. That's exactly what I've got here. So I feel like whoever you're dealing with, I do have the Sun, a lot of repeat cards for the What's Cracking reading, so it might be good to have a look at that. Five of Cups, still carrying around sadness from the past. I think that you want somebody to talk to you. And I see it's really interesting, actually, because now you've got your back turned on this person. They're trying to come back in. So if you let somebody go because it was something you felt you needed to do, you couldn't develop a relationship, they didn't want marriage or commitment, and you are turning your back on them, or you've turned your back on them, maybe quite painfully here, they're trying to come back in. All right, so this person now wants to talk. Look at this, Two of Cups. So maybe they've realized somehow or another that you are the person for them. We do have the Four of Pentacles here. They can't let you go. There's a change in the cycle here. Let's just put another card on that in Nine of Pentacles. Okay, the person that you are with has decided somehow or another that your relationship is better as both rather than on their own. So they've seen a difference here. Maybe they've learned to trust you more than they've learned to trust other people before. I don't think this is about sort of the physical relationship. I think this is that a person who's built a bond with you, that now sees when they're not with you anymore that that bond was really strong. And I feel like because you've set the boundary and you've walked away or turned your back on them, they now want in. I do feel that there has been some work they may have done. With a couple of the cards we've got here, there is a really strong indication we may be talking about somebody who has gone away and maybe made changes in their life. It doesn't feel like they've separated. So if they were with somebody else, let me just put some more cards on it. So there seems to be some heartbreak. Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo coming through strongly. Leo in particular, Capricorn in particular, and I do have Pisces here. But they're definitely, somebody wanted a new beginning, but nothing was sort of, nothing was manifesting. A new beginning was not manifesting. So I feel like you walked away because it was just too difficult in this situation. But you do have the Victory card here. So I feel like I'm talking really fast today. But I feel like sometimes there are so many messages coming through. I'm trying to capture all of the energies, and sometimes I think that it just catches up with me. I'm nearly out of breath. Okay, so whoever this person is has realized that they're better with you than without you. Absolutely, that's what they're trying to express here. But I feel like they've had trouble letting you go. But what you have to be a little bit cautious of here is you turned your back on them. And sometimes with people in this situation, They want to hold that power or that control. So it may be that they're trying to come back in because they want to finish it with you rather than you finish with them, because they feel like they'll have more control over the situation if that is the case. So maybe keep that in mind. I do think there's a good outcome here though, because I do have the Four of Wands and the Sun card together with the Two of Cups. So there does feel like somehow or another this is going to be a very good outcome. I just want to have a look at a couple of things. Okay, so Ten of Cups. Maybe they have, yeah, you may be dealing with somebody who has had the courage to leave a relationship. I do have the Ten of Cups with the Strength card, the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be a person who's left somebody else behind. Absolutely. But I feel more over here with the World card and this Two of Cups that perhaps this person's dealt with something else in their life. Like you might have been dealing with somebody who drank too much or wanted to be with their friends too much or whatever. And you've come to some sort of realization here. So maybe you've said, look, I don't mind how much time you spend with your friends. Doesn't worry me at all. But maybe it's better you stay single because it's not something that I want to be a part of. So if you walk away from somebody with that sort of explanation, then at least they understand you're not trying to control what they do. So maybe it's time for them to come back and say, look, you know what, I'll do Friday nights. I'll just do Friday nights with my mates, and then the rest of the time we can play together. But whatever it is here, there's definitely this feeling that somebody wants to talk it out with you now. So if you've had a separation where you've walked away, this person is coming back. They want to have a conversation with you. They want to talk it through. They do understand or have experienced this loss with you. So whatever they were trying to find in their single life, they've realized they're better off in a couple. Absolutely. So they're coming in to have some sort of heart-to-heart conversation with you here. Alrighty. Let's read your wisdom. This has been a reading for Scorpio. Let's read you an oracle card. There it is. Not for you. All right, I'm going to pull another card for that because I don't know if not for you is for them or for you. If it's not for you, then that would sit quite nicely with this reading because it makes me feel like maybe this person isn't the person for you. Maybe they won't change. And then we have chop wood, be patient, rightio. So we have the card 42, which is 6, and we have the card of 6. So both cards doing 6. So I feel like here the change can be made. But it may take time with that chop wood card. So let's have a look and see what it says. So the not for you card is clear knowing that something is being denied you, and they talk about rejection being God's protection. So I'm going to read the relationship message here because I think it's really important, even if this isn't a romantic relationship. Some relationships carry an innate seed of failure in them that is obvious from the beginning, but the red flags escape your observation or you refuse to acknowledge them. When a relationship is not meant to be, it's not possible to make it be. So maybe having this conversation will make you realize that perhaps this person will not change. However, because I have this chop wood card coming through, I want to sort of marry the two cards together. And my book won't play with me today. All right, so this is being grounded in everyday experience and humility. And it says nothing is as important right now as just doing what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. All right, let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard-won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. Relationships and friendships go through lulls when everyday tasks are at the center of awareness. So what I'm feeling like here is if you want to have a commitment with this person, if it's what you want, you may have to be very patient with them. That doesn't mean allowing them to walk all over you. I feel like from the cards they want to make the changes, but maybe it's about being patient with them while they make the changes, not allowing them to abuse your goodwill in doing that. So, you know, sometimes I think people have got into habits that they need to break. Not all habits can be broken. However, some habits can be adjusted. All right. So even though we know in our own heart that something we're doing is not right, say, for example, you're addicted to cigarettes, you know cigarette smoking is not good for you, but can you break the habit? No, but over time, you may be able to break the habit to a point where you don't need to smoke, but you acknowledge the addiction. So whatever this is here, I feel like you have to, if you want to be with this person, it will be a matter of being patient, not a doormat. All right, I will leave you with that. Thank you.